Prairie Plant Girl here. I just wanted to show you I got my composter in place today. I showed you in the last video how I bought it and put it together. And today I'm going to get it filled up. So I made sure that I made it on a nice level spot here. Normally that's not as important, but this one has a special locking mechanism on the lid, so I wanted to make sure that it was level, so that worked well. So this composter, and I think pretty much everyone I've ever bought has a little bit of instructions that come with it, and it gives you some instructions on how to get it started and get it going and how to work it. So if you've never composted before, they're usually pretty handy, basic little guide, but they'll get you started. So what you need to get composting is you need some browns, which is generally dry leaves, dry grass clippings, or you could use shredded paper, shredded newspaper, something like that. So generally just dry organic waste. You can also use coffee grounds. And then you need organic waste that, like your kitchen scraps or weeds you pulled up that haven't gone to seed, generally is better, or a little bit of green grass. You don't want too much or it'll clump together. Same with shredded paper. If you have too much, it'll get clumped together. And then you just basically layer those, keep them moist, and there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can just layer and keep it moist and wait, or you can layer and stir just to get a little bit of an equal mix between the two. When you stir, it'll add oxygen, which will help to get things decomposing a little bit faster. So I'm going to set the camera down and I'm going to get filling the bin. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is add some leaves. Now these leaves are from the fall and they've been in my other composter. So they've already gotten started composting a little bit, and they'll be a nice addition of microbes and things to help get things started. And then, I guess I didn't have this door on. Then the manufacturer suggests that you put a small layer of soil over top of the leaves. So I'm gonna dump a little bit of soil on there. Quite often they say to do that, just again, add some microbes to your mix to help get things started. Spread a nice little layer. There. So once you've got that started, you can start adding your scraps. So I've got some kitchen waste, some cuttings from some cut flowers I had, some banana peels, potatoes, there's a tea bag in there, some salad clippings, apple cores, and I just use a strainer and put a little piece of paper. I collect it on the counter, and when it gets full, I dump it out, usually every day. Then I have a bucket that I've been collecting in, and I have a little bit of soil in it just from leveling the composter, but it also has waste. Now this one is where I've been dumping things over the winter. So it has a combination of kitchen scraps and yard waste. So get that going in there. So I'm going to just keep stirring things around a little bit, spread them out. And then you want to keep adding it in, and you can put a little water on and moisten it down as you go. And that'll just help keep the whole thing, get the whole thing working. So I'm going to add a little bit of this shredded paper. Like I said, you don't want to add too much, or it'll clump together. I'm going to go get my hose so that we can get this wet a little bit. Okay, so I just want to make sure you're keeping your layers moist. That's what all the little organisms that get to work in here want, is to be nice and moist. They don't want to be wet, just moist. You want to think damp sponge, so you can squeeze it, but it doesn't like drip. There's moisture in it, but it's not dripping wet. That's what you want through the whole thing. Okay, so then you just keep adding your layers. You want more browns and more kitchen waste, and you just keep adding it up. And then what I do is I just come out and I give it a turn every now and then, get mixed up. I'll do that every few days, like once or twice a week. Just keep it stirred, keep things working, get the oxygen in there. I can see a tree branch. You don't really want a tree branch in there. Won't break down as quickly as the rest. So that's all there is to it. You just keep piling in your browns and your greens in nice layers. Keep it moist, keep it stirred, and you will be harvesting your own black gold compost in no time at all. So if you haven't tried composting, give it a try. It's not hard. And like I said, it won't really attract too many rodents as long as you're keeping it wet and keeping it stirred. They're not interested in it. So go out. You don't need a fancy bin like this. You can use just a wire cage, or like you saw, I had big tree buckets that I was putting things in. That works just as fine. It's just not as big. The bigger the pile you get, the hotter it will get and the faster things will break down. So get yourself something to compost in. Start gathering up your browns and greens and give it a try. Thank you. See you next time.